So recently I did a tips for gold players, and I thought it would be appropriate if I did one for plat players, especially because I was once, for example, a gold one on console, and then I made my way up to the plat rankings, and now I'm constantly doing that now on PC. Before the video starts, make sure that you drop a like, sub, and comment, and I'd love to hear your opinions and thoughts down below. Give me a reason why you're hardstruck plat. Now, a few days ago on Instagram, I asked you guys why you hardstruck plat because a lot of you guys end up DMing me or commenting down below, and I would like to diversify and figure out different people's opinions on why they're plat because I feel like self-awareness is the number one thing when it comes to improving your rank. That is the most important thing, just being aware of what your issues are and trying to become better at it. So let's see what you guys said. Now, my man David, he said that roam clearing was the reason why he's stuck in plat. Now, I'm assuming that you're solo queuing a lot. And that does make sense because if you're roam clearing alone or with people that you don't have chemistry with, then it can be very difficult, especially when I know a lot of people in the plat rankings, they're very passive or they're very aggressive. That's the thing about low plat players. There's no balance in between. They're either too passive or too aggressive. And I understand that. Best bet is trying to find teammates that you can communicate and just have fun with. I know that's very rare, and I'm still in that same boat of trying to find people that's I mesh with very well that want to win as bad as I do. But say if you do like play with your IRL friends or some type of friends, and they're not on the same mindset as you can always help them and teach them to get better. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as they're open to criticism, then you should be fine. But roam clearing is a very basic thing. Like, this is the type of stuff I learned when I was like gold. The most common answer I've seen from this Instagram story is people saying they're hard struck plat because they don't have anybody to play with. They either solo queue, duo queue, etc., and they're just stuck in this limbo of elo hell. Now, don't get me wrong, that is definitely a great reason. From my personal opinion, I on console I used to go off LFG posts and I worked my way up playing with those toxic people, and I just learned and learned. And there's sometimes when you meet somebody, you got to play with people that's better than you, but it's just finding those people. Now, 15 seasons, that's insane. Personally, if I were you, I would go in Discords, Instagrams, YouTubes, even use the YouTube comments below to find people to play with. Like, just interact. That's your best bet when it comes to that. If you're not putting yourself out there, then that's your problem. But you have to ask yourself why you haven't found anybody that you like playing with. Because I remember I used to get in stacks on LFG, and there's just certain types of people I don't like playing with. Like, for example, people that backseat game, bring bad vibes, that are way too toxic. They have the wrong mindset when approaching this game, where they think KD is everything. Like, I see gold 4s that have a 2.0 KD, or gold 3, I should say now, that have like a 2.0 KD, but they're hard struck gold because they worry more about their KD and their personal stats than helping their teammates out and using intel, using their utility properly, all of that. So what I'm trying to say is you need to analyze yourself. I'm not saying that you're any of those things because I don't know you, but maybe you're coming off like very toxic or just backseat game-ish, and sometimes you just need to have good vibes, man. Like, people make mistakes, and you have to be willing to give criticism to people and take criticism. That's the number one thing that I think stunts people's growth in this game, especially their ranks, is because they don't have the knowledge and IQ that it takes to go to the next rank. Even though they might have the mechanics and they might be able to shoot their weapon, that's cool, but there's so much intel and IQ that you need to actually get better, to actually play against better teams. The next person says they warm up and still don't feel confident in their aim. Well, how are you practicing? Because you could be just going around T hunts, just trying to win T hunts, and you're not focusing on what your issues are as a player with mechanics, if that makes sense. Like, you have to figure out what you're doing wrong. What don't you feel comfortable with specifically? Like, is it your flicks? Is it your, tracking? Is it your crosshair placement? Like, you have to ask yourself that to actually improve your aim. Now, don't get me wrong, you might have bad aim, but let's just say you have good aim, and you're just psyching yourself out. That's what I think it is, because I know that's my issue when I'm not in a good mood and I'm overthinking. You're giving yourself that much anxiety, and you're constantly like, "Damn, my game feels weird. Oh, I'm gonna potato. What if I potato? This is an easy shot." If you're in your head like that, you're gonna psych yourself out, and you're gonna play 10 times worse. I'm telling you, it's either you're not focusing on what you're doing wrong aim wise, or what you're bad at aim wise, and you're not training correctly, or you're just overthinking it. Like, just, I know this sounds silly, but just stop thinking. Just play. Next person says, I play too aggressive when I don't need to, and I peek too many things. I'm hard support. This worries me a lot. Because if you're a hard support player, then I'm guessing you play like a mute smoke, echo maestro, like any denial. And if you're playing like a smoke or echo and you're being way too aggressive and trying to get kills, then you're basically handicapping your team, because if you're like smoke for example and you're spawn peeking, or you're just trying to swing unnecessary stuff, then you're putting your team at a handicap, because all the utility that, for example, smoke brings to the table can literally win your team the round. The last 45 seconds, if you start dumping your smoke grenades one by one every 15 seconds, there's no way that the enemy team is going to have to get a plant down. They're going to have to literally get off that plant, either push back or push into you to force a gunfight. Smoke canisters are so great. Same with echo drones. If you save your life, even though, say you die early round, whatever, for playing stupid, of course you do have two cams, but you're not using it to its full potential. What I suggest that you start doing if you're playing too aggressive, on attack, let's say that you're running Thermite Thatcher, Ace, whatever, your main objective at the start of the round should be droning your teammates in, trying to get intel for your teammates, helping them roam clear so they don't need to drone themselves in, and you just need to play off of each other. That's what your objective is, to use your utility properly. For example, even the cams, drones, whatever. And when you're on defense, you need to be either at the start of the round getting on cams and just feeding your roamers intel. That is your main job. If there's no cams and it's late round, that's when you start using your utility, because 90% of the operators that you're going to be using that's hard support, like smoke, even if you're bandit tricking, smoke, echo, you need to be there for last round situations, especially maestro too. I salute you for actually being aware of your faults, but just grow from it, man. It's a very easy fix, and maybe you're not a support player if you're trying to play that aggressive, or you're just not playing smart. Something I would like to say to plat players, because this last few seasons where I've been in plat, like low plat, high plat, elo, even diamond, like low diamond, something I've noticed from a lot of plat players, because I solo, duo, and trio queue a lot, is that plat players play either too aggressive or too passive. They don't know the mixture of when to actually pinch on something. Like, I'll notice plat players rather spawn peek, and then in the final seconds, they will let the enemy team get a plant down when they could have just denied it. Like, a prime example is when you hear somebody planting and they're in a 2v1, like 1v2 situation. Your main goal in that is to try to either kill the guy that's defusing or kill the person that's watching his crossfire. A lot of plat players, I noticed, they allow the people to get the plant down and then get out of sight and rotate and hold hard angles. And you're putting yourself at a very bad predicament trying to worry about your KD and then act like you try to do something. If you're not comfortable in those type of gunfights, well, you just get used to getting into those types of gunfights. That just means you don't have enough experience and you just need to play more. Next person says, hard to find good teammates and panicking, thinking, oh crap, I'm in plat 1 elo when I'm plat 3. I see a lot of people complain about facing higher elo, and it just baffles me, because here's how the elo system works in Siege. When you face higher elo, if you lose less elo. If you beat the higher elo, you gain more elo. Honestly, when you're facing higher elo, you shouldn't be panicking. Like, what's the big deal? Cool, they might be a higher rank, but does that mean they're really better than you? That just means maybe they're played with better people, or they just, there's a lot of things that can determine that. It doesn't mean right away that they're a better player. Like, you just need to coordinate with your team as best as possible. Rank doesn't mean anything. Like, it really doesn't. I don't care what anybody says. Like, don't get me wrong. I think it shows a very vague explanation of a player, but I don't think it defines them completely. Like, anybody can hit diamond, anybody can hit champ. They just need to understand what it takes to become that rank, and then learn, grow, develop, and become better. When you face higher elo, don't panic. Like, it's the stupidest thing ever. You're going to psych yourself out. It's kind of like what I said earlier on in the video with the person. You just shouldn't be panicking. You should take that competition and then learn from what the enemy team is doing. If they do some weird shit that throws you off guard, then grow from it. If they do weird strats, learn from it, analyze it. Don't get angry if they do some rat stuff. Like, just grow from it. Panicking isn't going to do anything to help you, and it's not going to help your team. because you're gonna be psyching yourself out. You're gonna be like, oh crap, we're gonna lose. This guy's like a champ, diamond. Like it's just a rank at the end of the day. And if you get slammed, you get slammed. Like it doesn't matter. Just learn from it. Now, I hope this video helped you in some way. I just think that Plat Elo players, they just need to be more aware of their surroundings and just be more aware of their personal issues, because that's the only way you're going to grow in this game and get better and in life, for example. A huge thing I notice players say is they never have anybody to play with. So ask yourself how much effort you're really doing to find players to play with. Like you can use the comment section below, like I said. You can make an Instagram, follow people in the Siege community, use their comments, use Twitch chats, find a good community. Like there's lots of things you can do and to find players. Like you shouldn't be going like year 5 and still not know anybody that you can play with. But like I said, if you like this video, like and subscribe. It's much appreciated, and have a good day.